to your email.
Well, I want to welcome you to our workshop on the pursuit of happiness. Sorry for the technical difficulties of the PowerPoint and the projector and the computer not working, but I want to thank Pepsi, who sponsored these nice drinks we have today, and number 2 Vans for this building, and Kroger for that great chicken, and who did the baked beans and slaw? I don't think so. Well, thank whoever made the baked beans and slaw. But I want to, I emailed everyone who's in attendance the PowerPoint. Sorry for the viewers on Facebook. You were not in attendance, so you can't get the PowerPoint. But just follow along with me. And on my first slide of the PowerPoint, I put the great Maxine Waters on there. She blessed me this week. Reclaiming my time. And I think today is a good time to reclaim your happiness and reclaim the time that you lost being sad and depressed and worried. So today, we're going to reclaim our time. Just say it together. Reclaiming my time. Reclaiming my time. Amen. All right, on the next slide. It's very, very important to own your own happiness. We have too many people who depend on other people to make them happy. They depend on things to make them happy. They depend on relationships to make them happy, their jobs, their significant others, the children, whatever. But it's important for you to own your own happiness. So say, own my own happiness. And I put on the PowerPoint, happiness is an inside job. Nobody can make you happy. Nobody can make you happy. You can say, I'm going to get with him or her, she going to make me happy, she going to complete me. No. Nobody can make you happy. It's all dependent upon yourself. And I put a great quote on here. It said, don't assign anyone else that much power over your life. Stop giving people power over your life and power over your happiness. We give too much power. We give it to our supervisors at work. We give it to our significant other. We give it to everybody. I have a story when I was at work and I was angry at some people at work. I would walk to work, walk straight through the door. I woke up, had a great breakfast. I get through the door, I look at them, my whole day just go blank. I gave them that much control. I'm like, man, don't starve me today. And they're like, what you talking about? I'm like, oh. And I had already made up my mind, I'm going to curse this joker out today if he gets started with me. Because I gave them control over my happiness. And my morning got started great until I saw them. And when I saw them, everything just went down the drain. So own your own happiness. I don't care what you have to do. I don't care if you have to meditate daily. I don't care if you have to go outside and walk around a tree and scream. I don't care if you got to read all day. I don't care. Whatever you have to do. If it's healthy and productive, own your own happiness. So you have to figure that out. I can't tell you what to do. You can't do what I do to own my happiness. You have to do what you have to do to own your happiness. But it has to be productive. Productive and positive, and that's a way where you can own your own happiness. So remember, we have to own our own happiness. And on the next slide, Jay-Z, his mother, she came out. And it was a very controversial thing. People talked about it and all the above. But I won't read it verbatimly what she said. But she said, I put the quote on here, living in the shadows. Can you imagine what kind of life it is to live? She said, in the shadows of people, they see you as happy and free because that's what you want them to see. Then she said, living 2 lives. And many of us live 2 lives. Happy, but not free. She said, you live in the shadow of fear, for fear of someone hurting your family or someone you love. Then she said, smile. And then she said, the world is changing. And they say it's time to be free. But then she said, but you live with fear of just being me. How many of us have lived our life in fear for just being me? Matter of fact, Cam Newton just said this the other day, and we don't know why he said it. And I really don't care why he said it. I don't care if he said it because he's coming out the closet, going in the closet, or whatever, but he said it. And he quoted her verbatimly on his Twitter. And there was a big fuss about it because he did a press conference in his little shorts and all the above. But he just wants to be Cam Newton. He's tired of living two lives. He wants to be free. And it's a point in your life where you should want to be free. We should not wait until we get in our 60s and our 70s to be free. But many of us wait a long time. We waste a lot of years pretending to live in two lives, giving other people power of our happiness. And now is the time. The world is changing. It's evolving. You see things in the news. Everything is changing. It's time for us to own our own happiness. So today, I want you to say to yourself, stop giving people power over your life. This is your life. This is your life. You have to live it. Matter of fact, you can't control the world. Many of us think we can, but we can't control the world. So it's important for you to live your life and be happy and be free. And on this next one, this is really good right here. It says, he who has a why to love can bear almost anyhow. I said, what? He who has a why to love can bear almost anyhow. Why do I want to be happy? And then you go back and think of the things that kept you from being happy and how they kept you from being happy. But you have to figure out the why. Viktor Frankl said this quote. And then he said, stop looking for happiness in the same place you lost it. And we keep looking in that same place. The people who hurt us, the things that hurt us, the places that we should go. We continue to go and do these same things over and over and over, looking for happiness in the same place you were hurt. Matter of fact, we have this lady in Chicago with a big fuss about this in the news media. She was attending a church who did not approve of her being married to a woman. We have a lot of people who do this. And she got married. Not at the church, but at another church. But she posted her pictures on Facebook. And the pastor had a meeting with her. And the pastor told her, we don't believe in that. And then he ended the meeting by saying, your membership is canceled at this church. You no longer be a member here. And he kicked her and her wife out of the church. But we have to go back. Owning your own happiness. Why was this woman attending this church? If your pastor can't marry you, why are you going to a church where the pastor cannot marry you? And don't even accept you. But we continue to pay our tithes and our offerings. We continue to let them exploit us for our talents and our gifts. And we continue to be around these people. Stop letting people dictate your happiness. And I can only imagine how they feel your pastor, someone you look up to, someone you admire, tell you, your services are no longer needed at this church because you married someone that you love. Have a nice day. It's an apostolic church in Chicago. They did a protest on Sunday at the church. But my point is this. Stop giving people ownership of your happiness. You don't need the validation of a church for you to be happy. It's good to have the fellowship of a church. It's good. But if the church does not accept you 100%, you don't need that validation. And many of people, they want your money, your talents, and all the above. And people continue to go through those things and let people exploit them. So stop letting people exploit you for your gifts and your talents. But figure out why you want to be happy. You deserve to be happy. People live longer being happy. Studies have been done on this. You live longer. You have stress-free lives being happy. Mean people. I know a lot of mean people. They wake up mean, just grunting. They're ugly. And not on the outer appearance, but inside, just ugly. Just mean all the time for no reason. You know how hard it is to be mean all the time? That's hard work. So, once again, stop looking in those places. Well, stop looking for happiness in those places that we lose it. Now, this one really blessed me. Turn to the next slide. We're trying to figure out now what determines our happiness. And I gave you a graph. And on this graph, it has 50% of our happiness is a genetic set point. Then it said 40% are intentional activities. Then it said 10% are life circumstances. So let's talk about these genetic set points. On the next slide, I put one in there. Each of us are born with this predisposition of a certain level of happiness. So your genetic set point is something that you were born with. You had no control over this. None whatsoever. And that's 50% of your happiness on top. So if your family believes in certain beliefs and traditions, you're going to be raised with those. And so once you begin to grow up and get exposed to new things, you're going to start going against your family. But you were raised in that environment. And so now you're going tug of war against you and your family. And that's how your happiness begins to get all dismantled. Because remember I said 50% of your happiness starts in your genetics and you have nothing to do with it. So that's why the church has such a strong hold on people and on us. It took me a while to break away from that stronghold because traditionally I was born with be this way. Don't even attempt to think about being this way, but be this way. And so remember, 50% of my genetics determine my happiness. On top. So remember, this is stuff you inherited from your parents. Now, what have they inherited from their parents? So you're fighting with stuff that was 3, 4, 5 generations, a long time ago. You fight with stuff back in slavery. So keep that in mind. You're fighting with slavery. You're fighting with the 60s, the 50s, the 70s, the 80s. You're fighting with all those things. You're trying to figure out why you're so unhappy. So now today we have discovered some of our happiness has gone to the genetics in our family and things that we inherited that we had nothing to do with. So we got that. Remember that. So these are things that you can do nothing about. Then on the next slide, our life circumstances. They influence our happiness level. Personal experiences, occupation, jobs, health, income, religious beliefs, being married, your age, your gender, geographical factors, all those things determine our happiness. What's the percentage on that? So now, life circumstances are 10%. So we got 50% went to genetics. Life circumstances are 10%. So you thought your job completed you. You thought your income completed you. You thought your boo completed you. You thought being a certain age completed you. That's only 10%. Your job is only 10% of what makes you happy. Keep in mind, you fight with that 50%, and your job is only 10%. Then your boo is 10%. So now it's starting to make sense. So now you're trying to figure out, now I see why I was so mad and angry, because I'm dealing with things that my family gave me a long time ago. It's nothing your boo did. This is stuff you got to deal with from the past. So that's why it's so important for us as black people, I can't speak for white people because I'm not white, but black people, to go and get some professional counseling. I cannot solve everything. I can't answer everything. But I can recommend you to a great psychologist or psychiatrist who can help you go through and deal with those 50%, those things that you were inherited with. So remember that. 50%, and then religious belief, you thought that church or that pastor had a stronghold on you. It's only 10%. And you gave him all that credit, him or her, all that credit. And they only control 10% of your happiness. But you give them 50 or 100. Some people would literally die for the pastor. I didn't say God. I said for the pastor. They would die for their church. I didn't say God. So all I'm saying is stop giving these people this type of control. So next, you have intentional activities. That's the next slide. That is 40% of your happiness.